Hello, welcome to IBFU. I'm Coach, and I be fed up. And today, I'm going to talk about the Democratic Party, and I be fed up with the Democratic Party. Now, the Democratic Party, I be fed up with them about a lot of things. Uh, and I'm pretty conservative. I grew up in the South, and my dad taught me a lot of things. And one of them, you work hard, you do right, you treat people fair, just good moral, have good moral character and treat people fairly and treat people right. And the Republican Party has gotten to where it is just so out there, liberal, and they do just so many things that just it it doesn't make sense. Now, I don't care, what you're. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, you know, liberal, conservative, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Three Little Pigs. Whatever. If you are an American, you cannot possibly believe that just open the borders, let everybody in the world come in, is a good idea. You just cannot believe that and be an American. You cannot believe that Germany opening up its borders to just let anybody and everybody come in there is a good idea if you are a German. And you say that about every country. Okay? If you're a Canadian, thinking that everybody in the world can come into Canada, you cannot believe that is a good idea if you're a Canadian. So why does the Democratic Party think that open borders is such a great idea? And you can go on and on and on and on and on. But, one of the things that I got about the Democratic Party is that they have a specific playbook. And I keep wondering when the American people as a whole are going to wake up and realize what the Democratic Party does. Because Democrats run their campaign, and this is the way they run their campaign. See, they know that their policies are absolutely horrible. Okay, they know their policies are horrible. So they have a playbook. Okay, they try to just talk about everything but their policies. Okay, I mean they talk about everything but when they have to talk about what's going on and they start to lose, their candidate is connected to Russia. That everybody a Democrat runs against Russia. They're connected to Russia. They're a Russian spy, or they're a Russian asset, or they're in love with Putin, or they're, Russia, 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 Russia. So they're connected to Russia. Okay. When that starts to fall apart, they got their second one, and it's always the second one. They find somebody from, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever, to accuse their opponent of sexual assault. Now, this is allegation that cannot be proven because the person who's accusing them cannot come forward because they're afraid of retaliation. And they're not going to come forward because, back then they were very, very young and they've got their life on track and now they're married and got kids and they don't want to be humiliated in public, but we got them and they're there. And I keep waiting for them to have somebody from, 30 years ago that's 25 years old now. And 30 years ago, this happened. I mean, I keep waiting for that to happen. Because, I mean, they make these people up and they don't pay attention to what they're doing half the time. I keep waiting for them to come up with a 25-year-old that got raped by their opponent 30 years ago. When they were 5 years before they were born, they got raped by them. I really keep waiting for that to happen because I'm sorry, but they just do. They do some really weird stuff, but it's always from way back when. And the person that they're running against is sitting there scratching their head going, wait a minute now. Billy Joe Smith. Don't remember I ever even knew a Billy Joe Smith. I mean, and they, and they don't have any proof except that I talked to them, and they're just so horrified they can't come forward because they're scared. Okay. And they push that. And then when that doesn't work, they're racist because 37 years ago, they were talking to somebody whose cousin told their brother, who told my second cousin, Bubba, that he said something and used the N-word. Really? Some of this stuff just, this last time they said that some about one of the candidates, and they come out like 2 days before the election that he was a racist because he was against some kind of a thing with the slavery. And the guy's black. Okay, they do. But their playbook never changes. And then if that doesn't work, he's Hitler, or he's Marxist, or both. But he's a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. And he's evil. That's their playbook. Russia, sexual assault, racist, Hitler, evil. And that's all, and that's what they do. And I'll tell you, every time they start getting behind in the polls, they're going to come out with these things. And the ones that just really bother me, and Americans need to wise up. When a candidate comes out with something on their opponent, within a week of the election, there's a 99% chance that what they're telling you is an outright lie. Because, well, it was so close to the election. I just had to make sure that that got out there because I couldn't let this election happen without the people knowing. And it turned out that somebody gave me some misinformation, but I still stand by the fact that it needed to be made public. No, you didn't do all that. You lied about it. You made it up. You lied because you were trying to spread some garbage right before the election so that they couldn't do it. Now, Sessions down in South Alabama, and he was senator, and they made him AG, and then there was election, a special election. And so the guy that needed to be elected, he should have been elected, or was it 2 days, maybe 3 days before the election? They accused him of sexual assault. Now, it turns out that the supposed allegation, everything about the story was proven to be a lie. But it couldn't actually be proven until like the day after the election, and so he lost. And then it was, oh, well, sorry, we voted for the wrong guy because I just could not vote for a guy that raped a 16-year-old girl. Well, he didn't, and she didn't. And where this thing was supposed to happen at, couldn't even have happened there because the person that supposedly saw this happen could not have seen that happen if they were where they said they were and it happened where they said it happened. It's just, and they come up with these, and that's just the Democrat playbook. Okay. And I'm telling you, Pelosi and Schumer and McConnell, because he's really a Democrat, and Biden, and Camelot, and Tampon Tim. These people are evil to the core, and they hate America. Obama hates America. Go back and listen to his campaign speeches when he was running the first time. America is the greatest country on the planet, and I'm looking forward to changing that. He worked hard at changing it. How does the American people not recognize this? And I'd be fed up with the Democrats because, they say, okay, let's just give some examples of things. Okay, so they want to take all your guns away because guns are bad. While they got a security detail of about 15, 20 people standing around them, and every one of them got a gun. Really? Thought guns were bad. They're bad unless they're protecting you? Oh. Kamala Harris wants to take all your guns. Yeah, I got a gun. You come out, you get shot. What? Thought you want to take everybody's gun away. She said, yeah, we're going to come to your house and take your gun from you. What they say is contradictory. And they contradict themselves so much that it's just unreal. And they say that they want America to be safe. And the way to make America safe is to open the southern border, let anybody and everybody that wants to come in, because we're a loving people. We want all these wonderful people to come here. And so they say 11, 12 million. I say it's 20 million 20 million minimum. And of those, at least half of them are criminals. I mean, like criminals from wherever they came from. And they do, and Kamala sit there and tell you with a straight face that the southern border's secure. I mean, and Newsom telling all these wonderful things he's going to do, and he's been doing this stuff that Trump wants to do now. We've been doing for years. Really? Let's see. You had a 10-year plan, and in 10 years, you were going to eliminate homelessness in California. And they just hit the 20th anniversary of that. Crime's down. Well, yeah, crime's down. If you don't count anybody stealing less than $1,000 as a crime. I mean, how can you tell people in Chicago, okay, the Democrats want to tell people that Chicago, oh no, Chicago's safe. Well, I tell you what, I don't know if anybody lives in Chicago, especially on the in the communities where the gangs are running rampant and killing people every day. I don't think anybody in Chicago who lives in that situation can tell you that Chicago is safe. They come out and tell us that crime's down in New York City. Well, I tell you what, you go ask anybody who lives in New York City that has to be out in the public, they will tell you that's an outright lie. So, God, one of their illegal aliens that was arrested in New York and turned loose after they found out he was an illegal alien, they let him go. And then he gets on the subway and sets a woman on fire and kills her. And the very next day, the governor of New York gets on the subway and says, "Here I am. I'm riding the subway. It is so safe." What she didn't tell you is if she wasn't riding the subway at night, and she wasn't riding the subway alone because she had a security detail with guns surrounding her to make sure that nobody attacked her. Subway's safe. Oh, yeah, well, I know. We get people stabbed and, we get people set on fire and burned to death and all that on a daily basis. But no, it's safe. And you know how you know it's safe? Because I'm telling you it's safe. I got news for you, Democrats. You can't pee on people's leg and tell them it's raining and expect them to believe it. But for so long, because sooner or later they figure out that it really ain't raining. Thank you for listening. I'm Coach, and I be fed up.